So the recording has started, and I will share the video, my screen with you, so you see the video, the screens. We are generating ideas, so this is a sort of a prototype. From this prototype, once you give us your opinion, we can use to develop it further. So I'll share my screen now. Share the screen. Okay. Okay, so please, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So this is the start screen of the game. And this is the logo, and these are the options. And this is the first screen. The second screen is it takes the player to this place. The player can choose whether to play a medical supplies chapter or lost friend chapter. So the participant chooses the first one. So for instance, you choose the first one, and you go to the next screen, and the screen tells you how to play the game. You need to collect these things, and you need to avoid these things. You understand?
Yes.
Okay, so you decide to play. So you click on the play, and the next screen shows up. So now you've started playing the game. You remember you have to collect these things, apples, stars, and these kind of things. And you need to avoid these things, like these things and these humans and those kind of things. So there's the first, then the game is progressing. You are collecting like these kind of things. And finally the game ends here, and the game will say congrats. So please, can you read this thing? I will ask you questions about this for you to.
Okay, let me expand my screen and then okay.
You can read it loud, so I can hear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. It says game, congrats. You have completed the final level of the game. We have a friend for you. There is a soldier who just completed at the same time. Then the second section says, normally the soldier just sits in his quiet little room and do the small things that bring him pleasures. Read books, answer his emails, and write a little bit. He has a gift for you. You can ask him anything you need. He will also appreciate if you can give him a gift to show you love, to show your love. Any small token is acceptable. And then the player says, hi, I also like taking pleasure in reading books, writing novels, and chatting with family and friends. For now, I will need fever medicine. I kind of have migraine, so check if you can get me some first aid.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
So they proceed, and the soldier says, okay, I will trade you fever medicine for jacket. He gives the player options. So the first option is I will trade you fever medicine for jacket. The second option is I will trade you fever medicine for sunscreen. And the third option is to support for this course in whatever.com and get fever medicine. So the participant chooses the third option, the player.
Yes.
Chooses the third option. And it goes. So the game sort of ends, and these are some options the player can choose, like when playing the game, like music, sound, and brighten, normal,
Yes.
hard, and now the visual. Do you like the visual appeal of the screen, the colors and?
Yeah, I think
Mhm,
maybe the size, the width
mhm,
of I mean the dimensions of the screen should be a bit bigger.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah, so that it can be appealing to different shades of people, and also maybe if you can tweak the color a bit a brighter color.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so we move to the next. So finally, there's the last screen, and you can read here. We will ask you a question. Like,
Yes, you lost, but you have a new friend,
mhm,
and you can still make an impact by supporting here
mhm,
or by sharing this game
mhm,
with your friends.
mhm,
Then there is a social media
mhm,
links.
mhm,
Then
mhm.
there is replay and then quit.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So finally, the game has ended, and I will ask you questions concerning what we just went through. Please give me like 2 minutes, okay?
All right.
I have some food. Okay, so I'm back. Thank you. So I will send you this link on the Zoom chat. It seems I have to stop screen sharing and send you the link. Okay, so there you go. Please open the link and I'll share my screen again. All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Do you want me to share my screen or
no,
yours?
no, I've shared my screen again.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So you can open that link I sent you right now through the chat.
Yes, I've opened the link.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. So briefly, we can choose to read it or not, but that's what I explained to you. Like the game is for us to generate ideas, to test a game and improve on it. The game is like two characters are playing to encourage themselves to get to know each other, because both characters feel fear and sad in a refugee camp where they live. So the characters are in the game are like soldiers and the refugees. The benefit of playing this game is to make the atmosphere in the camp more friendly and free after the players understand each other in the game and eventually in real life. So I will ask you some questions concerning the prototype you just went through. Can you describe your thoughts about the game? Whether you think the game can
It's
fulfill this aim?
yeah, I think
Mhm,
I think it's a fascinating game,
mhm,
and it will help bridge the relationship gap between refugees and soldiers,
okay.
or even between refugees and people they work with.
And
But
how about ordinary people when they put on these characters?
yeah, that's what I'm coming to. I think there has to be additions to this game so that it improves, because the mission of the game is good, but I don't think maybe playing the game and then picking points and avoiding certain obstacles helps in building relationship with people that we have fear for. I think we should also introduce other variables that will make the relationship more tighter, because those other variables will enable us to get to know each other on a personal level.
Okay.
Which will reduce the fear factor.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So which features should we add? Because
like you should introduce something like maybe there should be a section where you can pick a point which introduces the name of the player and also the nationality of the player. Maybe the commonest food in the player's native country, you know, and also maybe a word in the player's native language. Yes.
The reason we introduce those levels is to put this barrier there, but the player eventually will get to talk to a soldier. Do you think it's good?
It's a good idea, but just going to the soldier to ask of a migraine, a medication for migraine won't increase the interaction. There will still be that kind of missing link. But if there are common topics to talk about, which is new to both parties, it's a way to get to know each other.
Okay, good. That's
yes.
Right. What do you know about the refugee situation? Like these people who, like, refugees.
We know refugees have become global phenomenon now. There is always an increase in the number of refugees globally, because according to the UNHCR data, the number of refugees, whether it's economic refugee or even because of political refugees, it is increasing, and it is getting worse by the day, because there are different situations why people migrate from their countries, and even inside countries to other places to seek shelter and also for safety.
That's right. Okay.
Yes.
So the third question is, can you share this game with friends to create awareness on the subject?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You have the forms open.
Yes,
right?
the button. Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
So you can choose. Good. Can we move on to the next?
Yes.
Okay. What do you think about the issues the game highlights? Like the subjects, like making people friendly, putting on characters to understand each other.
I think this game takes away a barrier between the two parties, the refugee and the soldier. And I also think it also helps to at least lessen the tension between these two people, and also gives the refugee confidence that he has a shoulder to lean on in times of difficulty. Because if you have a migraine and then you can approach a soldier for medication, is a very good starting point.
Okay, so we can continue to develop the game.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, we were not sure, so that's why we contacted you. Thank you. Can you describe the problems the game should highlight more? I think you've talked about these things, so if you would like to talk more, or we can move to the next.
Yes, I think I have one more. We can't deny the crisis that we are in currently in terms of racial segregation. Whether it's in America now, there is the Asian stuff also starting now. They are getting more aware. So this game should break that barrier, that discriminatory barrier. It should break it. So I expect the designers of this game to have a very good color combination.
All right. Colors.
Yes. It should be all inclusive. That's
Okay.
what I mean.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Good. Good. So we move on to the number. Next, do you think the game will encourage people to be friendly? This question too, but it's a yes or no option, so you can.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
Right.
Okay. So it's done. So we move on to the next. Would you like to put on refugee and immigrant characters in a game to get to understand them better?
You mean
If there's a game, this game, and you are playing and you put on like a refugee.
I
or
think
soldier.
this game should not only limit
Mhm,
to only refugees. I think
mhm.
and it can let's say it should be a game for diverse people of diverse backgrounds.
That's right.
No, not necessarily between a refugee and an immigrant, but I think it's a good choice. You know.
Well.
So yes.
Okay. Well answered.
Yes.
Good. So you've made a choice.
Yeah, I've made a choice.
Okay. All right. Thank you. What do you think about the interaction between the game characters? Like,
I think the interaction was limited.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't really encourage social social interaction. Although they talked about the books and whatever, and also demanded for a medication for migration, for migraine, but it doesn't bring a lot of interaction. So that's why I was suggesting if other ways can be introduced into the game so that it increases the interaction between the characters.
Right. Okay. So you
So I think the interaction level is a bit low. Yes, for me.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Thank
Yes.
you. So we move on to this question. This question, you've answered it. Then number 10, what kind of interaction elements should the game have? Like voice, read, visual interaction, gestures. What kind of interaction elements should the game have?
I think
It's about visual experience, like the colors and those kind of things. Can you talk more about other ways of interacting, like voice, like gestures, like reading?
I think gestures in the way of direction of where to go after picking a point or after scaling an obstacle. And these directions should come with voice, because maybe the person playing the game can have maybe an ear impairment or something, so that the person knows which direction he has to go. Yeah. So like a map.
That's right.
Yeah.
I see. Good. So the next question is, would you use the support donation link in the game? Why and why not? For instance, you've put in on the refugee character. Will you choose to use the link to make some donation and get a migraine medicine, a small token?
For me, yes. I think helping the refugee cause is a noble one.
Oh, nice.
So trying to help in my own way in reducing this crisis. I will definitely do that.
Thank you. And this last question is, would you share this game with a friend? Why and why not?
Yeah, I would, because we need to create the awareness.
Okay, all right.
You know, we need to make sure we make people aware of the refugee crisis and also how to interact and treat refugees.
All right.
Yes.
Well, thank you. You've really done.
A pleasure.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. Your answers were really good and has provided us a lot of ideas to develop the game further. We just put up this thing in a week. So
Wow. That's impressive. So should I click on the submit button?
yes, please. Thank you.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
I've clicked. It says sent.
Okay.
A response has been generated.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
All right. So we will thank you and we will end the interview.
All right.
I will
No
stop
problem.
the recording.
Okay.
Stop the sharing and okay. Stop the recording.